Hi, everyone, and welcome to Business Unusual, the messaging edition. This video series explores trends that are taking place during COVID-19 and offers some insight and recommendations for really optimizing your marketing program, along with some examples for how brands are responding in these unprecedented times. Before we dive in, let's introduce ourselves really quick. I'm Kara Trivunovic,
And I'm Lauren Gannon.
and we are coming to you from the Epsilon People Cloud messaging team. We're here today to provide information about what we're seeing as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and to provide some insights into trends and advice on ways that email marketing can really help brands to support consumers during the pandemic and to really come out stronger on the other side. As we look at the statistics, according to the Epsilon People Cloud messaging stats, during COVID-19, more email has been delivered and customer engagement has been on the rise. And given that email is a personal channel and really is a preferred channel for many consumers and brands, it's not surprising that we're seeing this kind of performance. While we're reaching out to customers during this time of crisis, it's important to also make sure that emails are relevant, they're genuine, and they're meaningful. Some pioneering email marketers are adding value by using innovative and interactive content to kind of break up the monotony and the clutter of what a lot of customers are seeing in the inbox today. So when we talk about interactive content, what do we really mean? What is interactive content? It's really any kind of content that your customer can tap, click, swipe, or interact with in any way. There's a lot of powerful ways to feature interactivity in your email, and you can include, one or many email or interactive elements. It really just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So as we think about some examples of interactive content, right, this could be anything from quizzes to carousels to live polls, even geolocation in real time for store location. So as we look at these examples, let's bring it to life a little bit. How about Lauren, you want to take us through some current examples, what some brands are doing today?
Yeah, that would be great, Kara. I'd love to share with you some examples of how brands across the industry have been using interactive content before COVID and then also during COVID as ways to drive engagement in their program. So I'm going to start with AutoZone. This is an example of an email campaign where they embedded really an interactive carousel or sort of a ability for you to swipe to reveal the offer, if you will. So there's a large $25 offer inside this email campaign. And as you interact with the content, you can start to reveal that savings. So it's a great way to surprise and delight the customer by adding an element of user-driven control inside the email, as well as embedding a video so that the customer can also watch a video on how to DIY install these struts inside their own vehicle while they're at home. Another wonderful way to think about interactive content for a retailer like AutoZone is to embed a forecast into your campaign. They're leveraging the 3-day weather forecast, and in this case, precipitation is in the area. So they're promoting windshield wipers and the ability for you to install these windshield wipers at home with a video as well. Weather is a wonderful way based on geolocation at the time of open for the customer to actually see the forecast and then content that's very relevant. So this could mean, for example, if snow is in the forecast, a completely different product like snow tires, for example, could be promoted as well. So it's a really effective way to drive engagement and adding that element of interactivity inside the message. When we think about financial services, especially during COVID, they were definitely messaging to their clients about trustworthy advice and helping them to navigate these uncertain times. And TD Ameritrade was no different. They were offering a webinar. And in regards to the content of the webinar, they wanted to make sure their customers were going to be able to not just attend, but remember when the event was. And so they embedded a call to action that you could add this event to your own calendar. So that would give you a reminder that the event was coming up, making sure that you joined this important event that you registered for. So this is a great tactic and one that many industries can continue to use in terms of events and real-time messaging. And of course, we wanted to focus on travel. This was an industry that was really hit hard during COVID, and the Marriott has done a wonderful job introducing content that is inspiring. And in this case, it's all about taking a virtual vacation. But what they're doing in order to capture their subscribers and travelers' attention is they're including what we're calling a rollover in terms of the call to action. The contrast changes from light to dark when you hover or click, and that drives the customer's engagement. It captures their attention, and it encourages the clicks. And in this case, it's about, seeing the world and obviously getting prepared for when travel does open back up to book your next vacation. A couple others that I wanted to touch on that are great applications for interactive content include quick service restaurants. So in this case, Dunkin' during COVID has been messaging to their customers about curbside pickup. In this case, if you order through the mobile app, they're able to reward you with more points, but it's important to know where your nearest Dunkin' is. Certainly not everybody was at home in their own zip code during COVID. We know many people were sheltering in place with family or friends. And so what this message did was it delivered in real time based on geolocation, your nearest Dunkin' with a map and also the ability to get directions based on that address as well. So it's a very effective way to drive real content inside the campaign. And then finally, when we think about retail, DSW sent out a message that was asking their customers to essentially vote or tell them what kind of shoes or footwear they were planning to wear during certain COVID opportunities like working from home, taking a walk, having a Zoom call with friends. This live poll actually captures the engagement of all the subscribers and delivers it back in the inbox in real time so you can see what everyone else is voting on. But for DSW, this also meant that they're getting quite a bit of data from their subscribers, and they can use that to, of course, personalize content in future campaigns. It's a very effective way to continue to drive engagement and relevancy in upcoming messages. So Kara, those are just a few of the ways that we have been seeing brands ingest interactive elements and drive that surprise and delight inside their email marketing programs. But I wanted to turn it back to you for some closing thoughts and recommendations.
Great, thanks, Lauren. So again, as we think about, the recommendations, what do you walk away from this conversation with, right? Be selective. Not every communication has to have an interactive element. Make sure they're relevant to what you're trying to accomplish. You should also weigh your interactive email support against your subscriber base. Not all of this functionality is going to work in every inbox, and so it's really critical to make sure you understand how it's going to function and what the customer experience is going to be. Also think scale, right? You want to be able to have reusable elements and things that will scale with you over time, as this can be a little labor intensive. Next, you want to collaborate with your design and development team. Again, you want to make sure that you're considering what it's going to take, how is it going to work, do you need some fallback experiences, and do you need to provide instruction, like in the AutoZone example, to know how to interact with that content. You also should have a testing plan in place. It's really important to understand what is it you're trying to accomplish, what do you think this is going to do for your program, and how are you defining success, which is going to be the determining factor on whether or not you include these types of elements moving forward. And then the last one here is to really become open time as much as possible. Make sure your content is centric to what's happening at the moment in time when somebody is opening those communications. So I think that really kind of wraps us up for today. We appreciate your time. And for more on interactive email, we invite you to check out our Email 2020 Trends ebook, Guide on Interactive Content. I'm Kara Trivunovich, and for Lauren Gannon and myself, we want to thank you guys for joining us. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good day.